Amongst the most beautiful islands in the world are the Azores, of which San Jorge is perhaps the most intriguing. This is partly thanks to the Dutch couple Rini and Pieter Adriaans. In 2000, they ended up there more or less by chance. Pieter took part in an international sailing race with a yacht partly controlled by a robot. The idea was that it would allow him to sail from England to America without too much effort. Unfortunately, during one of the fiercest storms the ocean has ever seen, the unlucky skipper suffered heavy damage. He had to abandon the sailing trip and look for the nearest harbor. That turned out to be the Azorean island of File. This marked his first encounter with the Azores. Pieter explains.
How did you come to the island?
Okay, it was in the year 2000 and I was doing a yacht race. I was very much into yacht racing around that time. And I was doing a race from Plymouth in England to the United States Newport. And it was bad weather, my boat was pretty heavily damaged and I had to retire from the race. So the closest place to retire to was Horta on the Azores. I didn't know the Azores at that time. But after a couple of days, 5-6 days sailing, I arrived there. And Rini also arrived at the same time. And yeah, we felt at ease directly. It was the nature was magnificent. Life was not very expensive. People were very nice. And we decided to buy a house here. In principle, just a holiday home. So one year later, we planned a trip to the Azores, and we traveled around the islands to look for a house. And a friend of mine had said, the best house that you can, or the best island that you can go to for knowing you is São Jorge. And this is how we ended up here in this pretty bay, in this beautiful house.
Rini and Pieter visited all the islands with the aim of buying a holiday home on one of them. Eventually, they set their sights on their current house in Manadas, a home with views over the bay. A few years ago, the couple decided to sell their house in the Netherlands and settle permanently on San Jorge. Pieter Adriaans was Professor of Learning and Adaptive Systems at the University of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, until 2024, and is also a philosopher. But he, like his wife, has many more talents. He is a gifted painter and a virtuoso musician who plays, among other instruments, the viola da terra. His wife Rini is a respected puppeteer, more about whom will follow later. From the moment Rini and Pieter Adriaans set foot on the island of San Jorge, it was clear to them that they wanted to be part of the community. That is why Pieter established his studio, De Kaas Fabriek, in Santo Antonio. There he not only paints, but also gives other artists the opportunity to exhibit. He also provides painting lessons to the local population.
Well, it's a special place. It's 600 meters high on the slope of a volcano in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's a very lonely place, especially in winter. It's an old cheese factory. It has lots of space, and we made a deal with the camera about 10 years ago to use it, and we've been working on it ever since, improving it and rebuilding it partly, and now it's an ideal space for me to work and to be, and it gives me a lot of inspiration.
Pieter regularly exhibits work elsewhere on the island, such as in the beautiful house of the nobleman and lawyer Orlando.
Okay, this is we are in the Solar de Noronha, which is a house of a noble family on the island that dates back to the 18th century. And we are in the lower part of the house where my friend Orlando Noronha, still from the family, created a little art gallery, and he made the selection of these paintings. This is my surrealistic work. It commemorates officially the surrealistic manifesto by André Breton that appeared in 1924, but so 100 years ago. And yeah, people ask me why I paint surrealistic images, and the explanation is that I have to do it. I have done this ever since I was a teenager. From the earliest works that are here are I made at an age of 13 or 12. So this has been with me my whole life. I start with dreams and I paint my dreams, or I start with just colors and like automatic writing, which is a technique of the surrealist. I try to do a lot of blobs on a canvas, and then I see, well, maybe that's a face or maybe that's a figure, and I work it out. And sometimes it takes years to come to the final painting. But a lot of paintings that are hanging here were made with this technique.
One of the most fascinating instruments of the Azores, which Pieter enjoys playing, is, as mentioned, the viola da terra. In Pieter's case, this is an instrument with 15 strings, built by the well-known guitar maker Raimundo Lennartz from San Pedro, Topo, San Jorge. But let us not forget Rini. She is an artist who creates the most beautiful batik cloths, but on the island she is also a celebrated puppeteer who regularly performs in English and Portuguese. She shows her favorite puppets.
Play, yeah.
How's she called?
This is Annabella. And
Okay.
Annabella, she's from Rome. And arrivederci. Yeah, she's from Rome, and she's very easy to play with the hand, and she has a cold. She goes hachu, and then I do this, and everybody is laughing, and she's hungry sometimes. Here's Ratinho. He can talk. He can sing la 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 la, and sometimes he's a bit tired, and he can really applause, hey, and also children, it's very easy to play this one. With these fingers you do the mouth, and then with these you do the two legs, and it's really easy, because this one came from Amsterdam. I bought this one in Amsterdam. This is one of my oldest ones, but he is so funny. He's called Renat, Ratinho Renat. Ratinho means mouse. And he's funny, and he talks to my other animals.
Perhaps the couple is best known for the restaurant they have been running for several years now, Art Restaurant Manazinju. Nowadays, this establishment is considered one of the most attractive on the Azores. This is due to the exhibitions on display there, featuring not only Pieter's work but also that of other artists.
I wanted to have a spot at the south side of the island where there's a lot of sun and more tourists to show my work, and at some point in time, during the COVID crisis, an old restaurant came for sale. It was called Manazinho. And we made a bid, and to our surprise they accepted our bid, so then we had an old restaurant. And the first idea was just to show my paintings there, but after a while we realized that the restaurant had big commercial possibilities as a restaurant. It's a beautiful spot and it has a very nice large kitchen. So we started to develop it as a restaurant, and now I'm in the weird position that I'm a painter, a musician and a restaurant owner. And okay, that's life. Okay, so the dream I always had, I started as a musician, as a young guy, play guitar in restaurants for meals and stuff like that. So I like to play for people. So we made a stage in the restaurant, and also I wanted to have a place to show my paintings and maybe give other artists a space to do their work or show their work. So a friend of mine, Dick Broekema, suggested to call it an art restaurant, and that was a very good idea because it's a descriptive phrase, so people immediately know that it's a restaurant, but also that the theme of the restaurant is art. And actually the restaurant at this moment is a big success, so it worked.
Pieter and Rini wish to continue living on the island and, for as long as possible, to contribute to the culture of the island.